Hey everybody, and welcome to Action Answers episode 6. Today we are going to be talking about how to maintain value on your boat for resale and for trade-in. Let's go ahead and get started. So today I am joined by Dave. He is one of our sales consultants. He's going to be answering some questions that we have about boat value. So Dave, what can you tell us about the first impression of a boat?
Yeah, so you can never get your first impression back when you walk up to a boat. So it's about the appearance, it's about the outside, if the gel coat looks good, isn't faded. Interior, if the interior is solid and good condition and not faded or has rips or tears. Also getting into mechanics and of the motor, trailer, tires, all those things that really hold value of a boat.
All right, Dave, so you talked about some of the exterior features. So what can you tell us about maintaining the outside of your boat?
Yeah, so wax is super important, and that depends on how often your boat sits outside. For the customer that keeps their boat stored in a building or in a garage, you may only have to put one coat of wax on a year. For the customer that keeps their boat stored outside on a lift in the sun, you're going to want to put 2 to 3 coats of wax on the year to keep that sun from oxidizing that gel coat.
So we talked a little bit about the exterior. Now what can you tell me about the interior of a boat, specifically when it comes to putting hours on your boat? I know it's a factor that people really consider when buying a car, but how does this come into play for boats?
Yeah, so the average family puts 50 to 60 hours on their boat a summer. So based on the year of your boat and how many hours you currently have, you can kind of figure out where you're at in the resale value of your boat if it fits into where the market's at. So if you're high on hours, you may want to trade that in and upgrade sooner. If you're low on the hour side, you may be able to run your boat a few more seasons and be perfectly fine for resale.
All right, Dave, so what can you tell boat owners about maintaining their interior?
Yeah, so interior, much like your exterior, the sun affects a lot of it. So keeping a cover on your boat is super important. If you're out in the elements a lot more, to clean and dressing is very important, or conditioner is very important for the seats. It keeps the vinyl soft, keeps it from cracking, fading, and you may have to do that more if your boat's exposed to the sun a lot more versus being indoors most of the time and only outdoors when you're using it.
All right, Dave, so for people who have some interior damage, what is worth fixing before they bring in their boat for resale or trade-in?
Yeah, so if you have rips or tears or your vinyl is separating at seams, those are things that people really look at. So what you can do is you can get new skins made for your seats, and without replacing the whole cushion or the foam, they can rewrap those and to match the existing interior. And that really keeps your boat standing tall, looking good, and will really hold a lot of resale if you do those things.
So let's talk a little bit about service. So what can you tell boat owners and how often they should bring their boat in and why it's important?
So every manufacturer has different service requirements, from oil changes to ongoing further maintenance. Most manufacturers have 50 to 100 hour oil change lifespans, and it's important to get those in so you can have record of doing those services. And so when people are purchasing a boat, that's good documents to be able to show somebody to ensure that you have kept up on the maintenance of that boat. Replacing your impeller is another key item to perform with maintaining your boat. The impeller pumps fresh water into your motor to keep that cool, which avoids overheats. And if you can avoid overheats over the course of owning your boat, you're going to prolong the life of your motor. Also, it's another item that you can look back and see that was performed to the manufacturer's specs.
So the last thing that we haven't talked about is the Biminis and boat covers. So can you explain why they're also important to maintain?
Yeah, so Biminis are one of those awesome things that some families use and some don't. The families that don't use them often, it's important to still open those Biminis up because they'll collect moisture inside and they'll mold and they'll smell real bad when you open them up. So if you can open those up to dry them out frequently, that's important to do. Boat covers is what keeps your inside of your boat clean, dry, so it's gonna be an important factor to maintain the inside of your boat. And there's things you can do to keep those boat covers to withhold moisture by waterproofing them every year, If there's rips or tears, small tears can be replaced or patched fairly easily. Once you get big tears, then you're into replacing covers, but also an important factor of keeping your boat nice.
Okay, Dave, so what can you tell some of our colder climate customers about storing their boat and when it comes to maintaining their boat's value?
Yeah, so there's many ways to store your boat. Indoor storage, outdoor storage. Indoor is definitely the best, whether it's heated or cold storage. The difference between that or shrink wrapping your boat, putting it outside, is you get a lot more temperature change throughout the winter. So imagine your boat being under a canvas. The sun hits it one day and it gets nice and warm in there, and then it gets cold. You get condensation that builds up, and that condensation over time will freeze if you're in a cold climate, and it's just really, really hard on your interior. Where storing a boat indoors, you avoid those kind of temperature swings.
So we talked a lot about the boat. Now let's talk about the trailer. What can you tell customers about maintaining the trailer?
Yeah, trailer, probably the most important thing is gonna be your tires and keeping those up. Most people don't know, but the average trailer tire life is 7 years. So for sure, every 7 years, you're gonna wanna get those replaced so they're not dry rotting or cracking, causing a blowout going down the road. Checking your electrical, making sure that your lights work, and then also simple things like your winch strap, making sure that's solid and not fraying or broken already.
So let's talk about warranty. What is it and why is it important?
So every manufacturer will have a different lifespan of warranty for their product, but it's the security of owning that product under warranty and knowing that you're not going to have any added costs for maintenance or things that break on that boat. The security of knowing that it's covered, and that'll improve the resale of your boat. If you sell that boat when there is a warranty left on it, then it's a security for the buyer that's going to purchase that boat.
So what happens if you trade in your boat and you don't have warranty on it?
Then any issue that your boat has, you're going to be responsible for fixing yourself versus the manufacturer covering those expenses for you.
So when it comes to used boats, why is it important to know how many owners a boat has had?
Yeah, a lot of manufacturers also will have a limit on warranty transfer. So if you're the original owner, you might be able to sell that boat to one other owner, and then after that, the warranty is non-transferable. So it's important to know how many owners that boat has had in its lifespan.
Thanks again, Dave, for joining us and answering our questions. If you have any other boat resale questions, be sure to visit our learning center at actionwater.com or visit your local Action Water Sports.